Hello, everyone. Welcome to our bi-weekly boring enterprise Nerdletter talk, where myself, Elena Perfilio, and Paul Moderman, my co-author, we talk about the upcoming issue of our newsletter, and we discuss the potential stories that we're gonna write about. Paul, if that's okay, I can go first and
Yeah,
share
jump in.
my stuff that I have prepared. All right, so let's start with my stuff. So three very fun fun subjects. I tried to do maybe some light light issues this time. First of all, really good news for ABAP developers. So ABAP developer
Yeah,
trial is
yeah.
on Docker got an upgrade to a 2022 version, which I think is great news. It was 19, what was it, 1909, I think,
No,
before.
1909, yeah.
So that was pretty old. Most importantly, 2020 version is where ABAP Rep became kind of more available in actual useful form. It was kind of sort of available before, but not that much. So 2020 is that really big milestone. I think maybe comparable to 7.4 version
Mm,
before.
yeah.
So we have now surpassed that milestone, and we got even better 2022 version. So that's pretty much my news of the day. So use it to
That
upskill, to learn. Yeah,
yeah. The getting into full wrap mode that you can
yeah,
poke and prod the wrap stuff that's actually a pretty big deal for the ABAP
yeah,
developers
yeah,
out there.
yeah,
Like, because a wrap is a pretty useful framework inside the SAP landscape, and B, it can be like I have enjoyed the what learnings I've been able to do rap wise on the courses out there and stuff, but
mm,
you really can't replace just having your own thing to monkey
yeah,
with,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and I know that there was like a shared cloud system always available, but
yeah,
let's say not everyone wants to kind of deal with BTP setup or what's not. Not
yeah,
everyone might be comfortable in shared system, but this, I think it pretty much takes away any excuse anyone might have for just not trying this
yeah,
hands-on. So really,
yeah,
that's a reason why I actually picked it, because by itself it's just a one short bleep. Hey, there is an update, but I just want to make sure that people understand that it's
yeah,
actually very, very important update. So
yeah, for
nice,
sure.
so really great, and thank you, Julie Plummer, for sharing this.
Mhm.
All right, then second topic again, going into everyone's favorite AI territory. Um, I'm not gonna say this video itself is kind of central point, but it got me thinking into prompt engineering. I think
Mhm.
this YouTuber Christopher Penn, he had some good points how AI prompts are kind of form of coding to the point.
A hundred
Um,
percent,
it's
100%.
so it's yeah. So I think some of the development skills will translate into that. He also had some good points that maybe sometimes very specific, almost like prompt format or language can actually be beneficial for certain use cases. I'm sure, Paul,
Yeah,
you will have like lots to say
I have a
on this
million things to
subject.
say about prompt engineering, but yeah, yeah, yeah,
Awesome. All right. But it's so I think I also kind of keep bookmarking stuff with some prompt engineering kind of prompting tips and tricks, I would say. So I might just dug some of this up and see what I can share with others, what actually works
yeah.
and is relevant, or what is just like a some kind of hype. So
I
so
haven't
sir,
seen I haven't
yeah.
seen this video.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, this is both of us are fresh eyes for each other's things here.
Yeah.
But my one sentence hot take is that prompt engineering as a job, I don't know if that still matters. Prompt engineering as a thing to do when you use AI, 100% matters still.
Yeah, yeah,
That's my take.
yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna be anyone's like full-time job, at least not yet, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
But
Yeah,
like explaining yourself clearly, providing good information to the AI,
yeah,
like that's the
yeah,
whole ball game. Yeah, I could go on for hours.
yeah.
Okay. I gotta
There,
resist the temptation. Resist the
yeah,
temptation.
yeah, there are also actually some good examples of using different prompts, like taking prompt literally like from one model, give it to another model,
Mm,
which I thought was very interesting. And
yeah.
one of the cases that Christopher looked at was asking to evaluate terms and conditions, for example, which I
Oh
think
yeah.
is actually very good case when there is a very long document and you need to make sense of it pretty quickly, and you can steer your AI helper, so to speak, to
Yeah.
search for specific items in the
Yep.
text, for example. So I think it's just a very interesting subject to explore, and maybe will help our readers to also kind of think in this direction. So third will be super super fun
Oh,
times
I love
website that
it.
I found. So it's like kind of nostalgia time. This Esky, so Esky art, I don't know if it's like correct pronunciation in English, but that's what
Yeah.
I called it back in the days.
Yeah.
So this was like all the rage in probably last century, beginning of this century, when you just use all the special like characters to create like fonts like graffiti
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
for computers. So this website is actually, I had no idea it existed, but it's been there for a while. I found it interesting that it actually had some fonts which are all like
Oh
it's
yeah.
all ASCII, so it's not like font, but it's yeah, it's like
Yeah.
different. So this is really like amazing stuff. To me, it's like someone went through all of this to make a web page for and have all this really beautiful. See how many there are? It's amazing.
Holy
I mean,
cow, that's
it's I was like I
awesome.
looked like what I thought there would be like five, but they're like
That's the most
it's a
awesome thing.
huge list. It's like oh my goodness, like
I
wow.
so I don't I'm not saying you have to do this now, but I'd be curious. Like
Oh,
you've seen where you can do like a shrug emotion
yeah,
with just
yeah,
certain
yeah, yeah,
characters.
exactly, yeah,
Like put that shrug into the
yeah.
font thing there, or into the
Yeah,
thing, and see what that looks like in the ASCII. I mean, that's really
yeah.
cool.
This is beautiful.
That's really
Beautiful.
God, man.
Jeez.
I might
Wow.
only send my emails this way now.
Like and like this is going into ABAP reports like all over the client systems now. So this is yeah, I was super psyched to find this because this was kind of almost like a lost art form, because with all
Yeah.
the emojis and all of that, yeah, it was a huge thing. But yeah, I think it's a fun story for
Can you
yeah.
put an emoji in it?
Emoji in it.
I
I
don't know.
don't
You
know,
don't have to try
maybe.
it now, but I'd be
Yeah,
curious to see what it does with emoji.
yeah. I don't have like
Probably
it's
nothing.
it's a it's a
Yeah.
PC, so I don't have like emojis on the keyboard per se, but they probably can get to them in some hidden symbols.
I am gonna try that later tonight for sure.
Yeah.
Whew.
So this is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Awesome. So that's my three stories, and over to you, Paul.
Okay. Um, Here we go. This is on the Power Apps plus SAP
Mm.
world.
Oh, is that
OData,
Microsoft's data connector?
yeah, so
Oh, cool.
Microsoft
Sweet. Sweet.
is previewing an SAP OData connector
Mm.
for Power Apps and Power Automate. And like from the SAP perspective, really from Microsoft's perspective too, in some ways, like OData is like that's the thing, right? Like
Yeah.
for web flavored APIs, for HTTP APIs, OData has become on the SAP side for sure, and for many Microsoft things, it's like the way to do things. So having an OData connector that goes all the way to your SAP system and having that plug into the Microsoft low code stuff, not every which way, but in many ways. I could I could regale you with tales of some specificity that's not here that is in something that Bodark does for this space. But this is really cool and it's really powerful because you know, you're dropping these CDS OData services out there for whatever, and like you're getting a channel right to your stuff from the connector in Power Apps and Power Automate. And I mean, I think the now temporarily disappeared SAP developer survey indicated that low code, no code is starting to become more of a thing in the SAP world. And if you're outside the SAP build boundaries, Microsoft Power Apps and Power Automate are the 800-pound gorilla in the room of that stuff. So
Wow.
this is very, very powerful for those folks here.
There is, by the way, there is a video from Holger Bruchelt. I think I saw it earlier. It was also saying it was still in preview, so I'm kind of
Yeah.
waiting until it gets out of that preview. So he was showing.
Mhm.
At first, it seemed like a very basic example, and I thought like, another what is it like another postman of sorts or
Yeah.
something. But then he showed a scenario when he was doing an update, like a modify database record scenario, and in that scenario, as you know, frequently you have to deal with that T tag and that super annoying stuff where you have
Yeah.
to get record first, then you have
Yeah.
to put like
Yeah.
very specific stuff in very specific places, which unless you get more into like Postman or other test tool, more like advanced functionality, it's always kind of painful to do this manually. But they have done it so that you don't need to do it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just works. So I was like, okay, I'll take two. So I
Yeah.
tried like just make this happen, please. Like
Yeah.
for me, because that e-tag stuff, I get it why it's necessary, but I just hate doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like
It's the
it's
worst.
so
It's the
annoying. It's
worst. Yeah.
like Jesus,
Yeah.
it's so awesome. So I yeah, I might send you a video so that you can put it in your story. Awesome,
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for that,
cool,
by the way. That's good. And
cool.
Holger, by the way, is a great dude to watch his like
Yes. Yep.
unsolicited plug for Holger's podcast videos, etc. Like, thanks for sharing yourself, Holger. Um, on the SAP side, still, there is now this CAP Cloud Application Programming Model LLM plugin available as an NPM package for people to use there that plugs into a lot of the SAP AI stuff in cloud world. It's very fresh. Like this is like week one or oh yeah, published a day ago, right? So this is super hot off the presses in many
Yeah.
respects. Very small downloads so far. It's going to take some time to kind of catch up and get going. But it gets you access to the LLM features in the various AI offerings inside your CAP applications. So that's fine and that's good. And I'll write something about that. But I also want to note that the blog post written about this plugin was so clearly written by ChatGPT that I can't even stand it. Like you mean you could I mean literally speaking, not even kidding, you could have written this blog post using the LLM plugin to call, pick your Gen AI provider out there
Bro.
to write you this blog
Oh
post.
my
This
god.
is so utterly clearly. I mean, they've got a graphic here that's nice, but like,
Moreover, they use
yeah, I
moreover
mean,
twice, so that's
nothing wrong with the word delve, but if you see the
oh,
word delve in your blog post, warning, 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 you might be looking at ChatGPT. If you see words like in today's swiftly evolving technological environment, red flashing siren emoji. That is Chat GPT talking to you. No, like, I nary a doubt in my mind that this blog post is written by Chat GPT with some
yeah,
nudging from this person.
someone plugged in
Yeah.
plugged in AI a little bit prematurely. By the
Yeah.
way, there was a bit of controversy, I think a couple of weeks ago. So some guy went out on Twitter, I think, and he said something exactly like, "If you see Delve, then it
I
means it
saw
was
that.
written by AI," and
Yeah.
he got like a lot of flack for that.
He
People
got
like,
a lot of
"What do you
flack.
mean?
Yeah.
I use
Yeah.
Delph?" But like, but I didn't comment on any of those conversations. But I'm like, he's actually kind of right, because I wouldn't say that automatically if you it's not like it's not binary. So it's not like if you see this world, then
Yeah. No,
this
not at
was
all.
written by ChatGPT. But it's definitely one of the red flags, because
It's a clue.
yeah,
Yeah.
personally, I would say I'm pretty sure like 90% of stuff where I'm seeing this word, it's AI generated. And it's not just this word, there are many others, which is just human is not gonna really pick this word, especially human who is not professional, like journalist or someone who by definition has access normally to specific vocabulary set
Yeah.
of words, and you usually just pick from whatever comes first. Of course, you might go and
Yeah.
research some synonyms to spruce up your writing, but this AI tools, they have very specific way of sprucing up their writing, which has become so obvious, I think, to
Yeah.
anyone who looks at this stuff, that it's, yeah. So so another person in Paul's
Yeah.
kind of,
By the so
corner for
yeah. By the
for
way, this
please, yeah.
the guy who sparked this controversy, his name is also Paul, by the way.
Oh.
Paul Graham. He's the founder of Y Combinator,
Mm.
the startup
Oh yeah, yeah,
venture capital
yeah.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I know some more about this story. He
Mm.
caught a lot of flack from a lot of the people who were like the haters on him were Nigerians.
Oh.
And apparently in Nigeria, that's a somewhat more common word in everyday
Mm.
language. But
Okay.
what that means, though, is that it is likely that OpenAI was using Nigerian labor to help fine tune the language models
Yeah.
to do things, right? So,
Mm.
so if you have a lot of uh, likely lower cost people, because part of the
Yeah.
process of training the models is having humans give feedback
Yeah.
on say this, don't say
Yeah.
this, that kind of stuff. If the people that you have doing the bulk of that work are from a geography that happens to pick that word slightly more often than maybe other parts of the world, then you can see clearly it
Yeah.
just leaks into everything. But it's also, to me, it's also a marker. So I have nothing, I don't like, I'm fine. Like, if somebody like physically says the word delve to me, I don't care. Who cares?
Mhm.
But like, what it often says to me is that the person writing the prompt to the LLM is just not being very specific about anything.
Mm.
They're just
Yeah.
saying, write me a story about blah, 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 make it 10 paragraphs, go.
Yeah.
And then they just take the vomit and put it on the window or in the blog
Yeah.
post, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing that gets my goat. It's not using ChatGPT, it's being lazy with
Yeah.
ChatGPT and just
Yeah.
giving garbage to us. Because
Yeah.
like, man, I'm so sorry. I go about this all the time. But like,
You
if you
done it
read,
again, Paul.
I've done it again. I've tripped myself, and in fact, I tripped myself on something else too because there was something else that I found that I was reading about that I decided not to write about this time, but it was about a particular Gen AI use case. And so I kind of went researching for that, and I found two sources that the first couple of paragraphs of their write-ups were dissimilar, but then the rest of their write-ups were the same stuff. And there were two different people. One was a person, one was a company. They appeared to be unaffiliated, but either they were both using a language model to write that particular part of their essay, or they just stole from each other to one
Yeah.
stole from the other to like write up their write up. Anyway, the point being, just give a shit about what you write, man, because this prose is such garbage
Yeah.
that like it's so hard to wade through.
And it's just so ironic that we frequently use those tools to summarize stuff to make something more
Yeah,
concise. I just
yeah.
talked about it in my story. You take a long TNC document and you're like, okay, give me like most important points from it on this or that. But this generated text, they do the exactly opposite of that.
It's the other way.
They
Oh,
fluff things, they add, and for some reason, some people perceive it as more like fancy, but it's actually not fancy to me.
it's
I think
garbage.
I think there should be some kind of movement maybe to take back our human writing or something like that, because if you work with any like professional editor, they will beat the crap out of your writing for exactly
Yeah.
this reason. They would be like, okay, you get to the point in fewer words, in more precise manner, so that it creates more value for the reader. They would like hunt you down for like, does this sentence add value? It doesn't. Then take it out.
Oh man.
Does this word contribute anything to what you're saying? No. And I can go through like the very first paragraph. I was kind of looking at it when you were talking at the same time. Like you can say the same thing in like literally like 5 words
A
probably.
hundred percent.
It's not
Oh,
gonna look as maybe fancy or
I hate
fluffy,
that.
but you will tell it and people will like you for that because you save their time. You don't,
Yes.
you respect you respect them as humans. You don't force them to wade through through the fluff, to get
If
to what
I'm
exactly you want to say.
if I'm reading a blog on community.sap.com, I'm not trying to go on a journey. I just want to
Exactly.
get the information, right?
Exactly. And
Just
like,
give me the, oh man.
however, the development of such applications mandates strict adherence to data governance and ethical norms.
Oh.
What did you just say? Like, dude, what what did you just say? Like, what is it? Like,
And
what's your point?
I just
I mean,
envisioned
what
this.
doesn't? Which is
I
also
know.
development where like, who gives a crap about ethical norms? Like
Uh,
ridiculous. Like,
I'm just envisioning this poor AI sitting in a box, just being forced to vomit up garbage, just
yeah,
by, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
because I mean, I think
Like,
if you said if you
kill
wrote a
me.
prompt if you wrote a prompt that said analyze this piece of writing for brevity, clarity,
Yeah,
and conciseness,
yeah.
like the AI would shred its own writing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's actually a pretty good approach. I mean, if you want to go that way,
Yeah.
you start with, okay, generate me some volume of text, but then you just go through that with the same tool
Oh
sometimes, and
man.
okay, it was good, good AI, but now make it shorter. So that's, yeah, I know, just, yeah.
Yeah.
Ru-
Okay.
Russ,
I hate on this stuff too much. I gotta
so
stop being such a
Our
hater.
Our Jimmy's got rustled yet again.
Once more, I can't stop.
Once
Any-
more.
Anyway, I specifically took out a different story that had that, so at least I'm saving people something somewhere. So
All
whatever.
right.
I guess
Great.
leave a hate in the comments if you don't like me doing this. The other one is
Unsubscribe, Paul.
the other thing is I saw this
Mm,
nice little write up here.
mhm.
Even though I don't necessarily always like this tech target thing,
Yeah, yeah.
I do think the breakdown here of MVP, POC,
Mm,
prototype
that's a
stuff,
good one. Yep.
that's a valuable thing for us
Yep.
developers and for especially for like enterprise projects to keep in mind because
Mm.
we've all seen the case where a POC goes to, yeah, so now just make it productive.
Yeah.
Just
Now
just
let's,
push it. But
yeah.
I didn't write it for that purpose. I wrote it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like so there's value in delineating those and value in choosing the right style for the right time. So I'll just do a quick blurb on that. That's all. That's all
Awesome.
for that one.
All right.
Jimmy's done being rustled.
Jimmy's done being Russell. All right, excellent. So here are three stories each, six together. If you're keeping count on that, that you will most likely read in on Wednesday in the upcoming issue of our Boring Enterprise Nerdletter. So that's it for today's talk, and we will see you in 2 weeks or so. And until then, have a great time of your day, and see you later. Bye.
Bye guys.